Hey folks, JD here, and today I want to answer a very simple question. Out of the SJRC F11 and the ZLRC Beast, which one is better? Is one better? Right, well before we answer that question, first of all let's split this video up. So first of all we're going to look at the flight of both of these, then we're going to look at the features and functions of both of these, and then I'll give you my thoughts collectively over which one I would get if one is better than the other. So let's start off with the SJRC F11, and let's start off with the flight of both of these. So as you will know, for the past month and a half I have flown this a lot. And I tell you what, every single time I fly it, I am just astounded at how well this thing flies. I think I've completed now somewhere in the region of 16 to 20 flights with this, and I love it. I absolutely adore the flight of it. Now, how about the flight of the Beast? Now, the Beast I have flown a lot less. I've probably at this point now, I've done about 6 flights, and I wanted to see how it would stack up. So the flight of the Beast is excellent. Again, very, very good, stable quadcopter, very fast, 2 speed modes, hovers in the air with GPS altitude hold without any problem whatsoever, as long as you calibrate it correctly to begin with. The overall flight of and pitch of the quadcopter is very good. I think this quad is a very solid flyer. How does it compare to the F11? Well, I still think the F11 is better when it comes to flying. You have 3 speed modes with this. The angle of attack isn't as heavy as the ZLRC, but at the same time, the angle of attack of the SJRC is more gradual. Therefore, it feels as if you can control it a lot better. And I personally think the flight of this, even though the ZLRC on paper out-trumps the distance of the SJRC, I still think the F11 is better from a flight perspective. What about from features? Well, let's start off with the Beast for features. Some of the features of the Beast worked for me without there being any problems, such as recording photos, recording video, different speed modes, return to home, 1 key takeoff, 1 key landing, as well as follow me sort of worked. The quadcopter did follow me, but it followed me backwards with the lens pointing away from where I was. That may be how this quadcopter flies in follow me. That did confuse me quite a bit. I've not seen that with any quad before, and I did think that was a little bit off, and it didn't fill me with confidence, to be perfectly honest with you, with that. And then the other feature then that I tried from there was the waypoints. That was it, waypoints, and I found the waypoints to be very controlled. The most controlled out of both of these waypoints were very slow, very controlled. The movements were very subtle. There weren't any jerking movements. The air brakes didn't apply harshly, whereas they did with the F11. Now, the waypoints with the F11, again, no problem. They were great. They worked. But some of the other features didn't. Follow me didn't work, but active track did. So the difference between those two is active track tracks you in a circle. Follow me, actually, the quadcopter follows you in the air. I found return to home worked, auto landing worked, 1 key takeoff, 1 key landing worked as well. I didn't have a problem in calibrating either of the quadcopters. I thought they both calibrated relatively easily, although the F11 calibration procedure is a lot quicker, because as soon as you turn on the quad and bind and everything else and get your app set up, you are greeted with a nice little animation showing you how to calibrate, whereas with the Beast you're not. You have to go through things, hold on to the photo button, wait for everything to calibrate or to start the calibration procedure. Then you've got to do the whole calibration dance, which is standard, and then it takes a couple of extra seconds there for the lights to go solid, which did confuse me a bit in the first flight. I thought that was a little bit weird. It seemed a bit delayed. How about video relaying back to your smartphone? SJRC F11, the video quality is just awful. It isn't good compared to the Beast. The Beast wasn't much better, mind you, but it did seem as if the Beast had a lot more colour. It seemed a bit more clear. It didn't seem as noisy. Whereas the F11 always seems to give me, no matter if I record to RAW or if I record at 720 back to my smartphone, it always seems to give me a purplish bluish hue to my videos, and I don't like that. Although I do find that the photo quality of the SJRC does exactly the same, whereas with the Beast you get pretty good standard definition video, pretty good high definition video and pretty good photos as well. It's just an all-round okay-ish camera on the Beast. I didn't think it was anything to shout about. I thought the videos were pretty good for a quadcopter of its price point. I would have much preferred it if the lens was capable of recording in 4K rather than just shooting in 1080 and taking photos at 4K. But still, the video quality did trump the F11 hands down. So as far as I see it, between these two, they both have plus points, both have negative points. Now, the both plus points that I can agree on with both of these is that both of these transmitters are just fantastic. The SJRC F11 transmitter is very basic, very lightweight, is rechargeable, rechargeable batteries. It's a beautiful form factor. I like this a lot. I really do. I hate the fact that the antennas are fake, but let's not go down that route. Let me just double check. I do believe these are fake, aren't they? Yeah, I can't see an antenna running through them. So come on to the Beast transmitter, bit heavier, bit bulkier, but I love the way that the FPV boom of this actually pulls out and gives you a couple of different angles of view. So you can actually use a much larger smartphone, albeit possibly a phablet with it as well. And it does, only the one arm moves extra, but it does give you that extra distance apart for you to actually have a bit of a larger phone in there. Now, again, the antennas at the back are fake. Don't see the point of them whatsoever. The antennas are internal, but I do like the fact that for once, with all of these clone drones out there and clone transmitters, that for once you aren't putting your smartphone at the bottom, you're locking it into the top instead. This transmitter reminded me a lot of the MJX Bugs transmitters. To be perfectly honest with you, that's not a negative point at all. I love the fact that you get a little telemetry screen at the bottom here that gives you some insights into your flight, like battery meter for your quad and your transmitter, as well as your satellite limit. I love that. I think that's really, really good. All in all, both the transmitters performed excellently, very, very well. Now, there is one feature that the ZLRC has over the F11, and that is a geofence at low battery. So on low battery of this particular quadcopter, it'll stop you pitching forward. You'll go out to about 10-15 meters and then you won't be able to positive pitch anymore. So it'll stop you. So your only option is left or right movement, or backwards, or return to home. I think that's great. So that way you're not going to go out too far and your battery isn't going to run out before the quad comes back. I think that's fantastic. The SJRC F11 does not have the same function, but at the same time I didn't feel as if I needed it. As soon as I hear the LVC beeps, or as soon as I see that it is low battery from the smartphone app, I bring the quads back anyway, either return to home or I fly it back. So, but I did think that feature did stick out from the Beast. Right, side by side, which one now? The actual verdict. Well, it's as simple as this. If you don't have either of these and you want a quadcopter that has full feature set with good video that flies brilliantly, leave both of these alone. Here's why. If you want a quad like me that just flies and you use waypoints and that's it, no follow me, both of them will do. If you want a quadcopter as a videography drone, leave them both alone. Neither of them are up to it. Whatever you choose, I certainly think the best out of these two is still going to be the F11. This is still my choice over the both quads. They both have pluses, both have negatives, but the F11 just trumps it for me absolutely every single time. But if you're looking at it from a professional point of view, leave them both alone. If you're looking at it from a follow me point of view, my thoughts on this are, from my experiences, leave them both alone. If you're looking at it from a quadcopter with long battery life that just flies well and you occasionally use waypoints, both of them will do, because they both work that function without there being any problem. They both have great battery life, 20 minutes plus. They both have great GPS modules that lock the quads in place and great return to home functions. So either one will do, unless you want a full feature packed quadcopter. But my personal preference is always going to be the F11, because the F11 is by far, in my eyes, the better quad out of the two. Alright my friends, I hope you've enjoyed. Thank you ever so much for watching and listening. I've been JD, you've been fantastic as always. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Hello and welcome to all the new subscribers. I hope you're enjoying the channel. So until next time my friends, happy flying.